Well, you guys wanted to see a bunch of pockets and working with lace and working with fabric and stuff, so here we go. Cut a piece of this. Now, normally I would get out my little steam iron and really steam this, depending on what I was going to do with it, but the fact that I'm making a pocket with it, it's going to be stretched at 3 sides, so I don't really need to deal with that. Just going to jump right on in, and I'm going to 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch away from the score line. I'm going to put my glue, about 1/8 more than the 1/4. Let my glue get up in the tip so I have less problems with it. And I'm just putting it up to there. Now I'm going to line my piece of lace right up to the score line. I don't want to stretch it, and I just want to kind of lightly tap it into the glue and then let it dry. Okay, and now while that's drying, I'm also going to have a piece of this. Let's see, am I going to do it along the whole thing? Because I think I have another one that I'm doing along the whole thing. So I think this one I'm just going to do, I think this one I'm just going to do, let's see, I don't want to stretch this yet because that's still trying to dry. I don't know, I might just leave this sticking out. This is a raw edge that I would like. I wouldn't have a problem with that being a raw edge at all. So I might just do that, but I'm going to wait and let this dry. So I might not do that one. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. Now this one I'm making a little tuck spot, and I'm bringing a little blue into this area. So I am going to get myself a piece of heavy duty, let's see, I thought I had all of this ready, but I didn't. Of course not. That would make it very much less interesting than my videos are, because I'm got very interesting videos. Okay, so I've got, it's not really heavy duty. This is about a 65 pound. And I don't think I have a portion of one somewhere. Yes, I do. Okay. See, I keep all my little pieces and parts until I've utilized them. So I don't want it any longer. I don't want it any longer than what this is. And I'm going to pull it off to one end. And I'm just going to get myself just a little bit. There. This is going to add a little bit of stability to the page, a little bit of stability to the piece, and a little bit of ability for the tag to stick, because this isn't really going to hold the tag. And I would only stick a small tag down in there. So, see, is that going to be too small? It might be too small, but I didn't really want it to show. I think I'll just leave this just the way it is. We'll figure it out as we go. Okay. Alright, so, and then I'm going to put a little bit of this on the end of it. Remember how I showed you to show the right side versus the wrong side, so we'll keep that in mind. So I'm going to take and put double-sided tape on the bottom. I think I do want this to be a little bit deeper. So let's see, I think I still have it here. And I think I want it to be a little deeper, so that there's actually something for, there we go. Okay. So now I'm going to put some double-sided tape. Where is it? There it is. It's double-sided tape on an end here. That's what's going to go right against the bottom side. This way, I'm going to utilize my bubble. I'm going to utilize my bubble that was on my yeah. This will be good enough to get this stuck down, I think. Put some fresh on the top. Okay, so we're going to stick this down. Get the center going there. Okay, there's that. And here's this. Got some of it coming out the bottom. It's mainly this dried bubble. Okay, so I'm pushing all that down, and that makes a very cute little, you can even kind of gather it together a little bit so I get it all onto the paper. Just makes it cute. Okay, and now I'm going to take this dark blue. See, I don't know, do I like it this way or do I like it this way? I think I like it this way. And only because it's really the same on both sides. This is some Stampin' Up, some older Stampin' Up ribbon. So I'm going to run, there's my little cute little bubble. Get the glue down and get myself some glue on here. All the way down to the end. Okay. And this is the way I wanted it. And I want the end lined up. You know, I want it all to be lined up there. Oh, come here. I don't want it hanging over this back too much. I want it all to be pretty level back here. Okay. Bring that down there. And let's see, is there anything let me see here. No, we'll come across something that's going to work on there. But then that's going to go. I made this way too long. And actually I'm not liking it for that anyway. What about if I put it up here? Then it would be a tuck spot. I could do a little bit more with that now. Let's see now. Ha 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 ha. Nope. Stinking cute. I'll find some use for it, but it's just not going to work on this page. But I need to bring blue in. Okay, this is dry. Let me wipe off this bubble. I'm going to get this down. Okay, I'm going to run this along here. And I'm going to run it up. I might have to run it a little bit higher, but I think that ought to do it. Now I'm going to be pulling. Again, I'm lightly tapping it into, just lightly tapping it, and then I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to have to hold on to it actually. Maybe if I do this, I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around here, and I'm going to paper clip it. And I think that will hold it well enough. There. Okay. Now, let's flip on through. I'm going to actually take this one off so I don't get... Oh! Let me go ahead and do the back side of it while we're working on it. I have... These are some flowers that I have cut out of these little appliques here, okay? And so I've got a flower, a set of leaves, and I didn't finish all of it so you could see that I've just gone through and clipped this little... I didn't go through here and clip them off because I do want to keep these leaves together. But you just get right at the base of all these little snippets that are hanging out and cut them right off. It doesn't make this... and most laces and doilies it won't. It doesn't make it unravel, okay? So you just get in there and clip everything away from it. So now I have a leaf, and I'm going to use this as a tuck spot, okay? So I've got the leaf and the flower, and then I've got my wood flower and one of my buttons. And then I've got this flower and the little leaf. So I'm going to glue the back side of these two leaves and then the bottom of the flowers, and I'm going to glue these two pieces together, and then that's going to make my little tuck spot, okay? And I'm going to glue the corner of this flower onto that. And so let me go ahead, I've got a big bubble here. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me get off the paper. Get this bubble. I hate to waste. There we go. So now let's see. Yeah, that's going to be good. And then this has got to be glued on. So let's put, oh, let me get this in here. Get the glue back on. I want to make sure I'm staying on. So, you know, you can cut as many of these things out You know, and any kind of doily is going to have this kind of tidbits that you can totally cut out. See, I want to do this right here. There. I kind of like that going up a little bit more. Okay, now I don't want this to glue on the back. And it's still a little damp there, so, and I did get a little bit on. I don't want that making any type of closure. How's this going? Okay, that's good. So, see the little bit of lace just flipped over? How cute is that? Let me get this off the lace now. And that's holding. And I'm just going to go and put a smidge of this. Just kind of stretch this down here. And just fold this over, and this will be there. It's cute. Just a little snippet. And it's really very cute. Alright. Put this back in my little thing. Okay. Yeah, this is going to take, let's see, it's almost dry. Just touch this to it, and that should take care of any wet stuff. Alright. So now, and this, as you can see, is the little metal flower, the little brad, and then I just have the brad flipped over, and I will put some glue and a little piece of tape on that. Let's see, where's my, hello, where is my tape? Ah, underneath my lace I just had in my hands. So this is pretty much what I do for this kind of stuff. And I like to have just a little bit of glue. Sorry, I keep moving it towards me. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the sticky side of the tape, just to help it stay down. And I'm just going to get that right over that. So that way the tape is down and the brad is not going to catch papers when you stick them in there. Okay? And you just want the tape small enough to be hidden underneath the flower. Alright, and then I'm going to remove this for a second. I'm going to glue my flower down. And I'm going to put a little bit of both glues. Let's see which side. I like this side of the flower better. This works on fabric and wood, and of course this is fabric. And it says wood trims as well, but I'm not sure which one's better with wood, so I'm going to use both. I'm going to do this kind of on the outside, and from time to time, if you don't know which glue is better, use two. Use your ATC and some glue on top of it. You know, you would rather it be stuck than have it pop off later on. Another good one is, you know, Glossy Accents or Diamond Glaze, or Stampin' Up! Has one, I can't remember what it's called. But any of those will be just fine to work with as well. So I'm going to do this in the center. And I'm going to lay this puppy right down in the center of the flower. And then I have my button now on plastic. That is when I get the diamond glaze, glossy accents, anything like that. Now I've taken some of my brown twine that I have and put it in there. And then I'm just going to do the glossy accents, or this is diamond glaze, and I'm just going to set it right down on my wood piece. Now I'm going to let that dry. If you don't ever want your diamond glaze or glossy accents, you flip it back over, tamp it to get it all out of the snoot, and then push it. And if you hear the air flowing through it, you know it's clear. And you're not going to ever have, there's a little tip for you, you're not going to ever have a clogged thing again. So it doesn't always work so well with glue, but because glue's just a little thicker, it doesn't travel quite as fast, but that stuff seems to handle it just fine. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm getting a lot of things stuck aside here. And let's see, where am I? I'm at 21 minutes. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to wait till I can finish these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this next one, I have 3 different lace. Let's see if I can remember what I decided I was going to do. I have a pocket that I'm going to put here, and I'm going to use this side, and I like having this lace, that's the back side, this lace underneath the pocket, and this lace, no, this lace like this, okay? And then this piece is going to go right down here to give me a little bit of red, because I need to be pulling the red throughout the book, okay? And then more than likely the tag that I'll use will have some red in it as well. So let's get started. Now I've just cut this. What I did was I like for it to, doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to the end, but most of the time when they're here, I have them go all the way to the end. On this side, I have it go just shy of the score mark, because I don't want it interfering with my stitching and bulking up that area where the stitching is going to be. I went ahead and made a mark just behind, about 1/8 of an inch to the right of the score mark, and then I scored it. So I'm going to fold over, make sure, I'm going to fold over the score mark. And let's see how this is going to work for me here. Line it all the way over here. Yeah, so it gives me enough room. Now, if you ever made it, just move it over to where you need to be and cut it off of this side. You know, don't worry about, oh, I've got to fit it in there. Just stick it where you need to it on this side and cut it off on this side. All right, so before I glue it down, however, I am going to glue this. I'm going to glue this, I'm going to move my paper, to the back of the pocket. Get this glue down. Pulling way too much out. There we go. Nicer bead on there. This isn't going to be seen, so I'm really going to be able to push this. What the heck? Got some junk there. Got some old dried bits on there, and it's so good thing it doesn't really have to be neat and tidy, because it's not. And remember, you always want the back side facing the back of the pocket. So this is the back of the pocket. I mean, you want the back side and the back of the pocket both facing you, the back of the lace. so that you get the pretty front side. And then when you flip it around, you just want to play around with it and get it so it looks like it's nice and even. Okay. And then while that dries, I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Okay, then I have this little bit that's going to go here. And I am just going to cut it off. I'm not going to try and wrap it around or anything because that just adds bulk where I don't need bulk. And I did make it longer than what I needed. But this, just for simple ease and that it's not quite as messy, I'm going to use my Elmer's Extreme. And I'm going to, yes, I'm going to use my Elmer's Extreme. Oh, there we go. And just kind of dotting, because this isn't going to be holding anything or in charge of too much. So let's see how we're doing lengthwise with that. Okay, and I need a little bit more. There we go. Oh, and I want it just right about there. Try and get it down and don't move it around too much so that you don't get the glue in the spots that aren't going to, you know, that, of course, some of them are way too much glue. That's all right. It does dry clear. Remember, once you picked up some glue with a certain section of the cloth, don't put that cloth back down on your paper again, because you're just going to be spreading it. So you always want to flip your, and that's going to have to be, this little tip needs a little bit of glue, because it ain't got none. There we go. Okay, and then cut this off. And I think this needs a little bit of glue as well. Okay. Okay, that's cute, and it looks pretty straight to me. I don't know, that's one thing I'm not very good, is eyeballing straightness. I'm not very good at it at all. Okay, and a reason I did this is because I like for it to be easy to get stuff down in your pocket. And if one side, you don't have to do it on both, but if one side has this, it gives a little bit of lift off the paper. Just it just automatically gives a little bit of lift, so that then your tags really go easily down. And that's what we're looking for here, is ease of motion. I hate when you have to really fuss to try and get something in. One thing I didn't do, which I will do here, is just take a little snippet. Won't really matter. I'm just cutting the part that didn't have any glue off. Won't really matter up here because of the lace. Down here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that off because I think I'm going to put that underneath. So I'm going to line this up because I know it's going to work just fine for me by having this lined up. on the edge and bringing this down. Okay. Now this is just some copy paper. So it is a little stiffer. It's like a very thick copy paper. But you still don't want to put too much on it that it has to support. But having a pocket on there, it's going to be just on, you know, on one side, and then you can do something. I'm going to do something on the inside piece, but I wouldn't want to do another thing over here, because that would just make this page way too hard to flip, because it would be wanting to bend because of the amount of pressure it's trying to, the amount of weight it's trying to hold up. Okay, and the reason I removed some of the glue from down here is because I believe I'm going to want to tuck this in and have this kind of coming out like that. So it's underneath the pocket, but then it's, you know, going to be on top all the way up to the rest of the page. And I'm fine with that, and I like that look too. Plus it's not going to interfere with my red and all that stuff. Okay, so I left myself enough room to be able to get this up in there. So I'm going to do, let me open this back up again. I'm going to do the area in the pocket, lay the lace down, and then put a little bit more glue on the top of the lace, and then place the pocket, and then work about the rest of it, okay? Let me get there's the glue into the end. You don't need a ton, because you're going to have it going on both. And I just want to get the end on there. There. Make sure I've got enough to go the whole way, because I've kept quite a bit out. There we go. Okay. So there's that. Remember, on this flimsier paper especially, you want to make sure that when you do, if you do end up stretching any type of the materials, you want to make sure that you're not buckling the paper, because it's not strong enough to maintain its integrity, because the lace is stronger than it is. If that makes sense. Okay. Now there's the pocket put down. Now I can take and do the rest of this. Not too much more than that. Okay. Get this off. I got off of the paper, so I want to make sure that doesn't get on my inside of my page. Don't stretch it. Lay it down. There we go. So there's that bit. Now while that dries, I want to make sure I don't have any glue. Okay. I've got this piece, and I've got, let's see, was this going to be another one? No. Okay. I don't remember now. Oh, I was going to do this. Okay. So what I did was I taped the inside where I was going to bend it, and then I folded it over. And I did get some cracking, but that's okay. But I did get some cracking, so I went ahead and got a little bit, gonna have a little bit of this, and I'm gonna have it on the outside so it just covers the cracking. Normally I would put it on the inside, but I'm gonna have it on the outside for this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and, well, first let's cut off what we don't need here. It's gonna follow my page up. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness, that was bad. Okay, just follow this right up, cut that off, glue this down. Ooh, now I'm gonna sneeze. I'm sorry, excuse me. And remember, I'm not wanting a whole lot on this paper. Let's just get it down, glued, and move on. Okay, let's not. And then if anything is showing, again, I'm going to come back over and clip it. Clip it good. So we don't need anything. And, you know, I'll come back through before I attach this on, and I am going to put a little bit of, getting some of that tape still on there, off of there. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to get my ground espresso. That is the color that I used mainly for this. So I am going to go ahead and give this some distressing. And I'm going to distress this. Now remember, I'm going to have the lace right across the top, but you'll see some of the distress below it. So I do want to get a little bit of that on here so that it will be seen. I also like to do things that are just a smudge. Just a smudge. It's kind of funky, but just a smudge. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's get this out of the way. Let's put the glue, get it down here. Come on, glue. Reminds me of the, what is it? Heinz ketchup. Anticipation. Oh man, if that would have been in key, it might have been cute. Okay, so I'm just having a small bead right across the top. Okay, and then I'm going to just take this and lay it right on top of that small bead. Again, the glue will dry clear, but it's better to check it out, see if you're even, pull it down a little smidge here and there where you need to, pull it up a little smidge here and there where you need to. Okay. Make sure it's straight. And just move it and pat it. Don't stretch. No stretching. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to page 1 while all of this is drying. Well, the back of the first page. And I've got my cute little pocket here. Now I'm going to, the back pocket, I'm going to glue that down. the little back corner of this pocket and the bottom I'm going to glue down. Part of this petal, the bottom of the big flower, I'm going to glue down. The bottom of the little flower I'm going to glue down. And then the tip of this leaf and the bottom and tip of this leaf. Alright. And that should give us a pretty nice pocket. That should give us a pretty nice pocket. Okay. I'm going to pop that back up so it can dry. Let's see where we are here. That looks nice. Now we're going to trim the edges. And I also wanted to say, you know, I go through and I kind of get some of the bigger things done. And I kind of take each signature as I come to it. But you want to remember that you got 3 signatures and you don't want to put all your good stuff in one of them. Okay, so make sure that you are you know, kind of spreading the wealth, so to speak. Now, one thing I have here is a little bit from my rub-offs, and I have a popsicle stick. I'm going to line this up where I want it. Let's see. I want about the same distance from the one end to the other. Okay. And I'm going to start rubbing it off. I love the rub-ons. I think it's another element that is very vibrant, full of color, and it's just something that you know, not everybody thinks about doing. They're harder to find nowadays. They used to be all the rage. I actually think they've gotten a lot better, but even though they're not as popular, they're a lot better than they used to be. And I remember back in the day, man, rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and still couldn't get it to come off all at one time. Always have some of it still stuck on the paper, and it was a big pain in the butt. I hope this is not as interesting as paint drying. Well, I hope it's more interesting than paint drying. Let me put it that way. So let me pull this up. I keep my hands on the main body of this, and I start one piece of it, and I make sure that everything is stuck down, because if it needs to get rubbed again, I don't want to have to try and line it back up to what it's not stuck to. Does that make sense? I think I got it. All this is not rubbed. I mean, usually you can see it. And then I'm going to stick up this side, because if I don't, there we go. Okay, so now that's on there like that. And then I'm going to glue this, but let me go ahead. And I should have pulled this a little bit more, because when I go to cut this off, you're going to have a little end, but that's okay. But just think about that when you're doing it, because it would have looked nicer for it to go all the way up and make a point like this one's going to. Okay, but that's okay. No biggie. Alright. And then I'm just going to glue this on. Now I don't need to use the Fabri-Tac, because I'm not gluing any fabric, I'm just gluing paper. So I'm going to put to there, and I'm going to put to there. line this right up at my corner and lay it down on both jobbers here. There we go. So we're gonna let that dry. Whoa, I moved it. I moved it. We're gonna let this dry. And if there's any of the paper showing, you can cut it off, or you can put more of the, yeah, you can do this on the ends once the glue dries. So in spots, I have where I didn't get the two pieces glued together very well, so I'm just going to squirt a teeny bit of glue down in there. Take my paper clip and kind of push the glue down where it needs to be. And try that again. It doesn't take much glue to make those papers stick together, so. Okay, so there's my pocket for that. Let me get this wiped up so I don't get glue on everything. That makes me very angry. Okay, so now let me see if I can, I still have one more piece that I've done, but I will show you that later on. Let me put this together and I'll be right back. Okay, so just a reminder that this is my first walkthrough, my first let's get some big stuff done in this. And basically what I look for is if I have something on this side that works with something on this side. It doesn't have to be the final product, just something that works. Which I did. I had these greens that worked together, but I always like to stick lace just about anywhere. So I went ahead and did something. And this is my thicker cardstock, so I like to have the lace work on that because this gives the most support. Got some blue here, got some blue here. Yeah, it doesn't work all the way, but it's fine for my first initial. This is cream colored. This has got some creams in it, so that works. This was green. This was just a coffee stained paper. There was nothing drawing these two together, so I worked on bringing some green to this side, so that's better. Then this side, there's the same brown is worked up into this pocket, so there's brown and brown, and the rest is just cutesy. And really nothing here, but sometimes you just got to leave some things for journal. But again, this is just my first walkthrough. Nothing there. I might come back with some stamping. This little bit that I added here kind of has this color, so this works for me. That's enough. Here is some orange here that goes along with the orange here. Again, not much here, but I might just, something as simple as just coming in with my ground espresso and running around this page, which will then be the same as what's around this page. Something here, but for right now, the cream color and the cream color that's in here works for me. I'm good with that. There's stuff on both pages. They don't really mix or match, but right now there's something going on each page, and I'm fine with it. This worked with this, but again, with the cardstock, I tend to want to put stuff, and this is going to be a super cute pocket. Probably not for anything this big, maybe something a little more bulky and short and squat, but super cute. So that's the first signature, first time through, and I will get the other two signatures done. If I do something super spectacular, I'll show you, but once I get all three of them done, I'll go back through them again. So that's it for now, and a little more on the flip side in a minute or two. Well, that'll be for you. Me, hours and hours. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.